Okay. Welcome back to Stories, everybody. My hair looks like shit.
The clouds parted over the
It's hot
Isles
as
of
fuck.
Boreas. It was time to choose.
It's time to
The rebellion
choose once
was in
again.
trouble.
So last
Ravens were
time
scouting for the secret rebel base.
we went the all
They
friendship
needed a
route.
game changer. Pieces
And that
of
got
the
us
Sky
killed.
Ripper had surfaced.
And
Or
now
so
I'm
the scholar in the mountains
thinking
had
we're
told me.
gonna
Surely the weapon that banished the
we're gonna
lost
go to
gods
that
could defeat
desert
the
city
Emperor.
thing.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty
God.
desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the
Obscene
Iblis stone
rituals.
is? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing.
Fuck
Of course,
Lupino.
Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Yep.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Bernardo went ostrich hunting.
Dope. Let's go ostrich hunting! Loading screen shenanigans. I just keep mouthing the word watermelon over and over again. Yeah, it is a good way
Every
to fake.
child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper.
Fake yourself saying
But
things.
ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls. A ruby that drank blood. A jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only
I guess we'll find out.
Drawn up from the deeps
Fuck,
by the
man,
Emperor's
spoilers.
horrific rituals?
Fuck yeah, I'm finding all kinds of treasures. Fuck the Iblis stone.
I need more materials, thought Renato.
So let's see. Need 70 ore and 2 more wind essence. Sounds good enough. So much treasure!
Renato distrusted doors that opened automatically, especially after being buried for millennia. Was this some sort of trap?
Yes. Yes, it was.
What kind of raven can't fly? Thought Renato.
Oh shit, I died. Did not realize that had happened. Oh, it's one of those exploding ones.
Claude Renardo? Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. They hadn't come too late.
So let's see, what is this next level of thing? Inflict damage on hooked enemies. Dash through shields sounds dope. Kick and throw distance increases. Increases sword energy, that would be pretty good.
Cool. Wish I could do that.
Oh, I have more. Alrighty. Damn, bitch! Blam! Need to regenerate the fuck out of my health, though.
Boom.
Oh. Or did he say owned? Do 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 do. Find zone. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings at the wall. Ignore the voice in your head. Nice.
Wait, what? How was he outside? Hadn't he taken an elevator into the depths of the earth?
That's part of the mystery, Ronaldo. I fucking did it.
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat had got to start making floating platforms. Not many people knew that.
Dun 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 diddle diddle doo. Oh, we do actually get to have the gigantic.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
Increases resistance to spell damage by 20%. That's pretty good. And I'm so close to that fucking wind void sword, man. So close to that shit. You temptress. You whore. Let's get to getting. Oh, come on.
Faked left and then gone left, he thought. And then, he never thought again.
He never thought again. These checkpoints back are pretty fast, actually, I gotta admit. Blam! Oh, shit. Who'd have thought there'd be actual
The Ravens
platforming?
at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Do 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 do. I bet this dash is awesome for speed running this game.
Renato hated cannon traps. Also, who reloaded these things anyway? He never figured that part out.
Do 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 do. Oh, I found the stone.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. It's the core, said the stone anxiously.
So, kill her, or get the core to a weapon that doesn't make any sense for us to get at this point.
The stone bothered him. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on board only if he could freelance. The stone felt a bit clingy. The sage Calaveras had told him where to find the Sky Ripper, a weapon capable of challenging the gods. Even without its armature, the core would still possess great power. He would go there.
Alright. Venturing into new uncharted waters here.
The moment he landed the Farfarer, Renato had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at sword school together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late.
Dear Zenobia, the director. Interesting.
No one could beat Renato at hot potato.
Yeah, boy. What you gonna do? You crit chance? There we go. There we go. That's alright.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. Once you try it, you're hooked.
Once you try it, you're hooked. Fuck.
The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The core will kill you." "Are you afraid of it?" "No, don't be ridiculous." It chuckled. But it's unstable. It will poison you if someone just carry it. And if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Renato did not trust rocks that talked. clicked in his head. He went onwards.
Blam!
The right jewel could really give you an edge. The wrong, well, it still looked pretty, didn't it?
Still looked pretty. This is a different level, isn't it? Because, like, I don't remember seeing this at all.
This couldn't be good for global warming. Well, he always wanted to do that.
He always wanted to be able to run faster. Nailed it!
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical. It's too much power. We'll rip a hole in space and time. He had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out. When Ronaldo came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent. "I can't hear you," he sang out. And, "You?" It didn't answer. "Ha!" he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he?
Yeah, let's go that route.
As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus, Bernardo could see tiny sparks in the blackness that was the Iblis stone. As if somewhere within it, the core was still spitting out energy, which the Iblis stone sucked in hungrily. You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Ronaldo. Well, the scientists would explain it all.
I wonder what they're gonna say. They're probably gonna say I'm a genius. A genie us.
See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the odd makers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. Oh dear, he was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Now, do.
Was that crow missing a face? I just noticed that. And I think that's the last everything I needed.
That was always a rush.
So, workbench. Workbench is what I need. Blam! Pressures.
Renato had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another.
That's a good sign.
Get all the ingredients for a pretty nifty sword.
I'll say a nifty sword. A nifty sword and board. I don't know.
The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Renato was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless.
Let's build it!
Sword from the mystical east could make time itself slow for you.
Looks good to me.
Building these platforms was so expensive, they'd run out of budget for guardrails.
Damn! I do say, good sir, I feel like you needed a proper ass whooping.
Sometimes, Renata really hated inanimate objects. The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky River, explained Renato. No more TV planet souls. But the core is not an unlimited energy source, said one toad. Another said,
there's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone. The stone doesn't actually feed on souls,
claimed the third.
but on pain of killing another sentient being. If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload.
This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
So, head to the mountains or attack the rebel base. I don't fucking know. The mountains?
The one thing he understood from all the toad arguments. Maybe the stone did not feed on blood, or souls, or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him. If he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Iblis stone without being taken over by its evil. The mountains. He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there.
I'm curious to see how this one goes. So I'm assuming this third truth will involve the stone itself. Although, I'm wondering if there's a way to make it so you end up making decisions that make it so you learn nothing about the stone to begin with. That'll be a bit of a bummer.
Unfortunately, the mountains were not empty. There were ravens everywhere. No matter. He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry. Parry, dodge, slash, and breathe. Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it. Not on the blood or the raven's call as they died. Ah, it was working. He wasn't feeling those dark jolts of eldritch energy. He wasn't feeding the Iblis stone.
There was a cat in this one, and something useful.
I like the idea of there just being a cat just popping out of this. Hell yeah!
The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart, too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and breathe. It was all so simple, wasn't it? Something was missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Wasn't this near a Calaveras live? The sage would help him figure it all out.
The sage, eh?
There was an inscription. No spitting.
Need all those sword upgrades, son. so powerful! I am the most powerful! I probably skipped some shit. Oh well.
He'd once been a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
I have no idea where I'm going. Ooh, it's some plot. Interesting.
There had to be something useful in these things, didn't there?
Oh, wow. I love how fast that checkpointing is. Okay, tryhard mode activated. Zenobia, you wouldn't believe it. Shit, man. Well, at least I fucking earned some fucking treasure. God
Maybe
damn.
I should follow my nose, thought Renato.
Energy on kill.
The Iblis Stone, silenced by the Sky Ripper's core, had given Renato enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Renato was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
I mean, I guess a little extra health actually sounds pretty good.
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. Do you fix souls or only artifacts? He asked the sage.
Does your soul need fixing?
Asked the sage. I've been killing a lot of ravens lately, he told the sage.
You're a fox,
Said Calaveras.
and to kill birds is part of your nature. Take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly?
It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child. There it was. The dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready. He was ready.
That sounded very unsure.
Renato had it all squared away in his head. He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret. But the victims had spoken to Renato. The ghosts had spoken. No. No anger. Renato could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Renato would just be one with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
Sword energy on kill. It's not terrible, I don't hate that. But I think for now we're alright. For now, at least. And I also get to be excited because we can surpass every single closed door. Like that one.
It was time for a little exploration.
Nice.
Really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. No, he must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
Slay 'em.
Good thing Renato didn't have vertigo.
Good thing. Text message, but I can answer it later.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. Now it was coming for him. Some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Oops. Time to face the Emperor! Man, shit's getting real now. Maybe an actual boss fight, or that missing texture.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renato's head as it rolled around the deck and died. And just like that, he was alive again. And back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Well, at least we got that third truth. That's exciting, though. I mean, not so much getting my head chopped off, but... this game's a lot of fun. I really like this.
But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the path of destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Very interesting. Okay, we'll call it here. Good stream, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'll see y'all next time.